an interesting point to contemplate is how do we create separation with others? And it's a very common thing, it's something very subtle that we do. Now, if you examine carefully, our minds are designed like that. The mind is designed to secure itself. We seek security in all situations and circumstances. We want to ensure that we are safe, that we are loved, that we are cared for. And all our actions usually are geared towards that thought. But sometimes such actions, which are born out of fear and insecurity, actually increase the separation. And the more the separation, the more is suffering. For example, let's say you may be having a conversation with a friend or with a loved one, and you may try to come up with different points, trying to explain your point of view to them. But at the same time, you'll be thinking how they will react to you when you're talking about it. Let's say that you tell your friend about a good deed you did a couple of days back. You may say that I saw a poor old woman and I gave some food to her and it felt good. But at the same time, the mind is observing the other, the perceived other, and their reaction towards your act, towards you specifically. That how does the other person react to that information? And generally, what happens is that the other person recognizes, gets to know what you're doing, and a thread spins up, a thread of thinking spins up in their mind, where it says, oh, look at this person trying to be so benevolent, trying to show off, trying to show how much they care about an old lady sitting on the road, whereas they are having so many problems with interpersonal relationships at their work or at their house, with having a troubled family life. And you see, it just increases the separation even more. It just increases the separation more and more as we try to contemplate what the other is thinking about us. So the mind creates separation like this in a very subtle way. Sometimes it is not even conscious. It is more about what the other person is thinking about us rather than we trying to share our own experience. In some cases, there are forced implications. For example, someone would say, oh, I practice yoga every morning and I do 108 asanas and 108 Surya Namaskars and this or that every single morning. I do it religiously without fail. Now, there are two ways of communicating this. One can simply say, I do yoga and it feels good. And one can talk more about how it feels to them, like how it relaxes their nervous system, how they feel union with the nature and the environment, how they feel connected to others. That would be a different communication altogether. That's a heart-to-heart communication. But when the communication happens in a different way, like when the mind says, I practice religiously, I do this, I have done this for so many years, I am so good at it, and there is an implication that look at me, look at my flexibility, I can do this, I can do that, and you should learn from me. The ego mind is like that, you should worship me, you should learn from me. The hidden implication is sometimes like that. Or one can say, you know, I'm at a very high ranking position in the corporate world, and they can just keep listing the benefits. Oh, I have this, I get so much money, I am the project manager, I am the CEO, I am the vice president, I am in the board of directors, and I get called up for so many meetings, I do this. And I have seen this happening to people who are not even actively working. They would just keep reminiscing about how their life was wonderful when they were in the corporate world, and how they managed so many units, so many organizations. And incidentally, the person that I'm talking to was with his wife to attend a meditation session, and he just could not let go of that. So, when that kind of communication happens with the other, there is automatically a disconnect, because your experiences in your personal world, no matter how grand they were, has got nothing to do with the other person. There is no common thread with the other person. It's like you are continuously bringing attention to yourself by telling people about your conquests, and they are not interested in that. What they are interested in is how life has touched you. They are interested in a heart to heart conversation, not in a mind to mind conversation. The mind to mind conversation creates separation, and heart to heart conversation sometimes does not even require words. It does not require use of forced, assertive, passive aggressive language. All it requires is kindness, tenderness, compassion towards oneself and also towards the other. And then it's a beautiful experience, a beautiful shared experience. But when we are all about me, look at me, I did this, I did that, my life is so perfect. I remember a friend telling me, a dear friend telling me about her friend who was who she visited once, and this friend of hers boasted about her relationship with her husband, and she was like, look at my beautiful family life, look at my husband, he's so caring, kind, compassionate, he's the best man ever. And she kept on and on and on. Now, for this woman who was single, my friend, it was inconsequential. It did not matter. In fact, it created separation with her friend instantly. You can have the most wonderful relationship with your spouse or any other family member, but share the experience, share how you feel. That's a heart to heart connection. If you say that my marriage has brought me peace, or my relationship with my husband or any other person has brought me joy, peace, and this is how I feel calm. And there is no urgency about it, there is no irritation about it, there is calmness, restfulness. Then there is connection with the other person, a heart to heart connection. And even if their experience is not the same, the two people can share the common feeling of joy and bliss with each other. But when it's all about, look at me, how good I am doing, look at my perfect life, look at my house, look at my car, look at my husband, look at my wife, look at my parents, look at my business, look at my farm, look at my any A, B, C, D, anything, then there is a separation with the other person. There is a separation. And that separation brings conflicts in relationships. Such people often lose friends and family members because it's just about me, me. Look at my work, how beautifully well I'm doing in my work. Or it can be the other way. My problems, they can keep sulking about it. Look at my problems. My business is not taking off. I don't know what to do. People don't like my products. My relationship with my husband or wife is tormented. I don't know what to do. Nobody understands me. Nobody recognizes my talent. One can go on and on like that. That also creates separation. And generally, people have had some kind of experience of that in the past. So they recognize your state of mind, and they generally do not wish to connect with such energy, because such energy is draining. It is This is wastage of precious energy. Now, when the heart to heart communication takes place, the energy increases multifold. It just, you know, it grows exponentially. It rises exponentially in amplitude. But when it is just the egoic mind to mind communication, there is actually no communication happening. Ramesh Balsekar, that when the ego talks, the ego listens, and there is no communication happening in that. There is no communication of true value happening in that exchange. It's pure wastage. But when the heart speaks, the heart listens. And that is a beautiful, beautiful experience. It comes from a place of peace, restfulness, kindness, compassion, love, union, and not separation. I wish you all a great day. Take care.